Caleb Williams, the quarterback for USC, suffered a tough loss against University of Washington,
Indeed.
potentially remove them from the playoff race, and so it was a very emotional response. And after the game, Caleb Williams was caught on camera up in the stands with his mother, who then covered his face with what it looked like maybe the pregame booklet, and he was emotional and he shed tears um, with his mother after the loss, and this display of vulnerability has caused some conversation on Twitter, on Instagram, and people calling him a crybaby, saying that if Drake played college football, it'd be Caleb Williams, and etc. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are about the crying after the game. Is that something that is okay? Is it better as a leader, as a teammate, to suck up those emotions and just hold it together and do that in private? Or what's your take on that, Deej?
Um, it's crazy how Drake got astray. First of all, that's wild. But out of all that, Drake got astray in the comments is crazy to me. But for me, I can't tell everybody how to handle their emotions. Everybody's cried after a game before. I feel like we've all had that kind of reaction. I don't know that we've had that moment on national television where we went up in the stands and like sat with our mom. And I think that was the toughest part, I think, for people. I do subscribe to there's no crying in baseball. Like when in the lead they're on, when Tom Hanks says that, I subscribe to that in sports. Like, I'm a firm believer, if you go out there, you do all you can, man, you leave it all out there, there's really no reason to cry. But I'm also human and understand it's an emotional game, and those things happen. I can't say that I've never not cried in the locker room because of this and the third, whatever. And the kid balled out. He has no reason to be crying. But I don't know that's tough, bro. That is tough to go up there, with the shout. I mean, shout out to his mom covering his face because I'm sure she knew what kind of look this was going to be. But I just, I think that's a tough thing to do. I don't, you're playing this sport and you are vulnerable. You're super vulnerable as a player, and you're emotional. It's an emotional game, but you can't go in that stance. Maybe go share that crowd with your teammates in the locker room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And I commend Caleb for his vulnerability, because he doubled down in the locker room or
Yeah,
in the press conference, saying that he was going to go home and he was going to go cuddle with his dog and just watch some shows and lay in the bed. And I think that level of truthfulness coming from especially a football player, but the potentially the number one draft pick, I think is empowering to men, all around the world, right? That, like, masculinity is not defined by the lack of emotion that you show. On the
correct.
other hand, I do think that there's a time and a place for certain emotions, and as a leader and wanting to display a level of strength as a leader with your teammates, that maybe a better time to show that emotion would be in the locker room surrounded by your guys, instead in the stands with your mother. I
Yeah.
mean, I've cried on my mama's shoulder many a times.
Oh yeah,
I'll be the
plenty. We
first to
all
say
have. Yeah.
that. But there's always a time and a place, and I can't
Yeah.
say one way is right and one way is wrong. But as a guy who shared tears in the locker room with guys after losses, I think that's a powerful place, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
happened in the USC's locker room after the
And
game.
like, you might tell me, like, me being your boy, you might be like, bro, I'm out. I'd be like, bro, what you gonna do? Like, yeah, bro, I'm about to just go cuddle on the couch with the dogs and watch some show. Like, that's perfectly normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we say stuff like that all the time to each other. But like, and I'm not saying that you can't have that level of truthness to the media. It's just like, damn. Like, it's like, there's also a flip side of this. You see people out there who are motivated by these things. There's also little kids out there who are going to be motivated by you, and understanding, and maybe they need to hear that part, but they also need to hear like, yo, like this is disappointing. This is not the outcome that we want. This and like, you know what I'm saying? Those type of situations, and know that it's okay to be tough in those moments as well, man. It's not.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay with dealing with failure and just having to stand through it. It's not, and that's okay. You go out there, you did your thing, you did all you could do. If that's how the cookie crumbled that day, that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, there's kids out there that could probably use some bossing up at that mic. Like,
Yeah,
hey man, we lost the game. I'm about to get back to work. Let's go. Turn the page. Fuck it.
yeah. So there's
Or a
there's
stoic face on the sideline. I mean, there's so many different ways to
yeah, there's so many
look at
ways.
this situation. Um, but hey, man, hopefully, USC. Well, I really don't care what USC does for the rest of the season, but shout out Caleb Williams. Shout out
Shout
Caleb
out
Williams.
them,
He's
man.
balling. Fellow light skin, always be in the corner of a fellow light skin.
Yeah, man. Hey, you got to take that side. I got a rep for our dark skinned brothers over
Yeah, yeah, but we can unite on the Deej and Beach show.
Indeed. We share a lot
Deej
of
and
the same
Deej.
opinions.
Let's
A
go.
lot of the same opinions are shared here on the Beach and Deeds show.